Hello, people of the interwebs. Welcome to the Study Loft. For those of you who do not know, my name is Erica. I am one of two creators on this channel. My friend Amy and I started this channel a few months ago. We did a little bit of a diet bet on it to start with, but Amy and I have been wanting to play around with this channel for a while now, and so this is kind of the beginning of that, with a new vlog series that I'm going to be calling Let's Talk About. The idea behind Let's Talk About is to have a conversation. I'm going to be putting up videos about things that I'm interested in, topics that I want to talk about, ideas that I've heard, conversations that I've been a part of, and I want you guys to join in on that conversation with me and Amy. So without further ado, let's get this series going. Let's talk about books, specifically good books. I got this topic idea from a Facebook post that Amy made a couple of days ago. She said, I was going to finish reading Dante's Purgatory today, but then I decided I would rather start Douglas Adams' The Restaurant at the End of the Universe instead. Here's plainly illustrated the reason why, while I love to read good books, I don't have the discipline to be an English major. As you guys probably expected, a few of her good English major friends jumped in and started going, but Dante's amazing! So this whole conversation on Facebook got me thinking, how do we define good literature, and how is good literature different from fun literature? Because as this conversation was going on, Amy said, Dante is a very interesting read, but not a particularly entertaining read to her. She says, I read him to better my mind, not for fun. Now, to begin, I should probably make a confession. I haven't read Dante's Purgatory, or his Inferno, or really a whole lot of good canonized high literature, and I have an English degree. I read almost every single day. Pretty much every day I'm reading some type of book. And while I do read books that are more for work or bettering of the mind than they are just for entertainment, I really do enjoy books for entertainment, and usually I'm reading to be entertained, at least most of the time. For example, I'm currently reading How to Read Like a Professor by Thomas C. Foster, but I'm also reading the Divergent series. I guess for me, when I'm reading for reading's sake. To be entertained. I read to learn, and I read to grow. And I don't always draw a line between what is, good for my mind, what is learning, and what is entertaining. Is there a difference between those things? I used to subscribe to the idea that, well, as an English major, I should be reading good literature, and only good literature. My understanding of what defines a good and useful book has kind of made a little bit of an about face. Douglas Wilson, in his book Wordsmithy, urges us to read until your brain creaks. But he doesn't just suggest that we only read those canonized books of high literature and things that are kind of harder to read and require the IQ of a borderline genius. He actually just says read widely. Don't just pick those things that your college is telling you to read or that culture says is good literature. He argues that reading solely within one genre is a form of literary provincialism. This idea of being stuck within one very small, confined, and limited area of reading space. What Wilson later discusses is the importance of just reading as a whole. It doesn't matter if you're reading Dante's Purgatory, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, or Twilight for that matter. We learn from those books that make us ask deep and meaningful and important questions about reality, the universe, humanity, but we also learn from those books that honestly make us cringe and wonder how that piece of word vomit actually made it past the publisher and onto the big screen. As somebody who has studied English and is in love with language and reading, I'm probably going to keep reading those books that are a little bit more work than fun, but I'm also definitely going to keep reading those books that are just going to entertain me. You might not have the discipline of an English major, Amy, but you still read more than a lot of people I know. Read what you love, and I promise you, you will still be better for it. Alright guys, so that's my contribution to that end of the conversation. It was a little bit haphazard and all over the place, but I want to know, what do you guys want to read? What do you think you should be reading, and how do you define good literature? Join the conversation, leave a comment down below, send us a video response. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on this matter. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there is something to be said about reading high literature rather than, just things that make us giggle. Exciting things are happening with this channel, you guys, and I really cannot wait to see where this conversation goes. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you next Friday.